Ow! Bad idea to have a weapon that gets thrown away. Bad idea. Voltip, no. No, Voltip, go back. Hello everyone and welcome back to Starbound. My name's Tekorsa and as promised, we're going to be working on a colony today. So I have everything already to go in my bag. I've got my 10 colony deeds. I've got the furniture for 2 guards, a merchant, a chef, and 6 other village houses. I've prepared a whole bunch of materials. I even am grabbing a wooden workbench so I'm able to craft on site if I have to. Plus a flag that I can throw down just so I can teleport to there without worrying about it later. Alright, and all of that being said, I even went ahead and picked out a spot. So I'm over here in the Leprous system. And I've been looking at this particular planet in the Goomba system. It's a savanna, it has titanium, so once we're done planning the colony and setting everything up, I'll be able to go mine titanium and upgrade to the next tier of armor. It has 2 moons that I can use for refueling, and the star system is on its way to this cluster of radioactive stars, which has the next tier of armor, so the Durasteel. And then beyond that is a cluster of frozen and fire stars that I'm going to be able to use for the last 2 tiers of armor. So there's been some thought going into this. But problem with this, and also why I picked one with the 2 moons, is it's going to take a quarter of my fuel to get there. Not that big of a deal. We're just going to wing it once we get there. That being said, I'm just going to go ahead and start going there. Now I know I had something... Okay, I want to grab that statue. I want to throw it down as like a town center. See, is there anything else that I'm forgetting? I don't think there is. But once I touch down, I'll start explaining a little bit more in detail what is required for a colony. So I will see you guys over there. But let's see how well... Ooh, right off the bat, there's a chest. A boomerang. Huh. Okay. Oh. Party time. Upgrade module. Ooh, that means I'm up to 4 of those now. Awesome. Some titanium ore. Ooh, nice. Silver ore, and I'm gonna throw this on. Stay on my second slot. I want to try it out. Friend or foe? Friend? Okay. So what I'm going to be looking for in a spot to build is going to be a relatively flat spot. Ow! Bad idea to have a weapon that gets thrown away. Bad idea. Bad idea. Okay, let me change that back to my pistol. You know what? To me, editing, we're gonna cut, we're gonna land on the planet, you're gonna dub over, say, hey, I am just gonna go find a suitable spot, and then we're gonna cut to me finding it here in a little bit. Alright, sound good? I'm gonna stop recording now, and, we'll start up again once I'm ready. Alright, so I found this nice place. Go away, you. It's this little valley that runs from that mountain over there through... Ooh, missed that. Alright. But from that mountain that I just showed you all the way Hey. Go away, you two. But yeah, it's quite a little bit of a hike. But it's a valley that runs between two mountains. Here we go, here's the other side. It's fairly flat, so it meets that criteria. But as a bonus, none of the hostile creatures from the other biomes seem to... or the other, like, not biomes, because the planet itself is a biome. But this section of the planet seems to be more peaceful than the rest of the planet. Now, the mobs still hurt, but... I did not mean to shoot that second rocket. Anyways, so the mobs on this part of the planet seem to be... a lot of them are the same mobs from the earlier planets, just a little bit stronger. But what I plan to do is I plan on taking out the ruined structures that are in here, and this flat area right here where this one is going to be the first edge of my base. So let me see, I got dirt on my bar, I'll use dirt. So that's the leading edge. And then I think the bridge on the other side is going to be the end of the village. Because there isn't too much after the bridge. Yeah, the bridge is just right at the edge. So my colony is going to end... Let me chop down this tree so I can put down my little dirt pillar. Okay, so this is going to be the other edge of my colony. So what I plan on doing is kind of like how all of the colonies are kind of set up. I know like the Florian is set up this way. I know the Apex is. I don't think the Hylatal is. But anyways, they have little towers that have large doors. Oh, the Glitch do it as well. That's the one I was thinking of. But they have like a tower, and then they have a gate. So I'm going to clear off this... Yeah? You're not so big now, are you? But I'm going to clear off this ugly thing, and I'm going to build the my little entrance tower, and I'll be right back. So I'm going to time-lapse me building my guard tower, just because it takes so long to live build, especially when I'm fighting with the UI of the game. So I made a lot of mistakes, and I babbled a lot. So what I'm doing first is laying down a flat foundation for the guard tower entrance of my colony. I'll explain really quickly what you need for a house. A light and a door. That's it. Everything else is for decoration. That's not entirely true, but I'll get to that in a moment. So, the aesthetics that I'm going for this colony is wood and stone houses raised above a pathway. I'll get into other buildings later in this build, but for right now, I'm making sure that my guard tower is high enough for the large door and wide enough for the furnishings. So, speaking of furnishings, what you put into a house determines what kind of tenant you will get. If you have just a door and a light, you're going to end up with a random colonist. If you add more, you'll get something different. In the case of my guard tower, I'm wanting to attract a tier 2 glitch guard. Now let me explain what that means. A tier 1 guard only requires 8 blocks worth of combat items. A tier 2 guard requires those combat items plus 12 blocks worth of tungsten. A tier 3 guard requires those combat items plus 12 blocks worth of titanium. A tier 4 guard requires that same amount of combat blocks plus 12 blocks worth of durasteel. And to attract a specific race, you need to add in 8 racial specific blocks to the room on top of the requirements for the tenant. So back to my guard, I have a tungsten bed, which is 12 blocks, a tungsten lamp, which is 2 more blocks, and I have wall-mounted axes, which count as 14 blocks of combat and glitch. Now, what I mean by blocks is the amount of tiles an item takes up. A great way to see exactly how many tiles it will take up is by typing /admin/debug/blocks, and it will show you the bounding box of everything in the game, just like I've shown on screen. Alright, so there are also 2 other main types of tenants that you can attract. A chef, which requires 8 blocks of cooking items, and a merchant, which requires 8 blocks worth of storage and 8 blocks worth of commerce. I'll put a link in the description to the Starbound wiki page on tenants. It has links to all the different categories of items, plus more details on the unique types of tenants you can attract. Alright, and a little bit of an update on my progress. So, I have my first rent collection. Little golden house with a little spinning circle, and it has a present in the main window. There we go. He gave me 200 pixels. And he left the door open. Let's put the torches on the second, not the first. Sorry, that's just a nitpick. But, okay, anyways, so I tore down the ruin that was right here, and I extended my little pathway. I increased it by 1 block and extended it through. And I thought it'd be nice if I added this little background block on top. You know, just to make it look like sort of a like it was sort of like a curb on the little walkway, and then it dipped under. And I thought I didn't want to, or I decided I didn't want to make the path completely level, so it does dip down a little bit. You know, there was a natural dip here, and then I filled in the back with timber, just because just to see what it looked like, and I liked the look of it. I was also gonna try stone bricks. That could look nice as well. But yeah, so I'm about to start work on that second house. You were gonna say house, right? So I'm time-lapsing through this one as well. Same issue as before. Live building just takes so long. So what I'm doing is I'm mimicking the style I had in my guard tower, but bigger, and 2 stories. I made the height of the pathway that runs under the house just a little bit taller than the character's height, so I could easily run under the buildings. Also decided that I want the curb to only run between the buildings and not under them. I'm keeping up with the aesthetic I established. I made the floor out of stone, and I derped by putting the wood in the foreground. I fix it, and I continue on with the stairs. Alright, and I'm using dirt here to measure out how long I had made the platform so I could split it in half, in order to make this building a duplex, you know, 2 people living in the same building in 2 separate houses. But I keep measuring, and measuring, and measuring. I know you're supposed to measure twice, cut once, but I've measured like 10 times already. I mean, come on. And I measured again. Okay, so now that I'm done measuring, I move on with the build. I've added in the second story just above what I consider to be door height, which was pretty accurate considering how long it took me to measure before. I add in a platform so the tenant can jump up to their bedroom, and I finish up with a table and chairs in the main room of the house. I finish up with the walls and add in the lights. I decide later that I hate how little light the iron spotlights give off, and eventually go back and remove them, but I do repurpose them later into a street lamp, so I didn't waste materials on them. So as a quick side note, I did install a mod that changes the tenant's rent loot table to remove throwing weapons, salves, and other trash items from it. The mod does keep weapons, costume, and other rare valuables in the loot table. I've added a link in the description to a Steam Workshop collection for what mods I do use. I will keep that list up to date, and it will include mods contained in episodes that I have not aired yet. But I'm going to finish up this house, finish up the other half, and off camera, and showcase the colony in the next clip. Okay, so I did more work on my colony, and I think it turned out okay. I did run some quests on the intern. This guy decided that he wanted a Voltip for a pet. So, yeah, that's why there's a little Voltip running around. But anyways, I think I've showed you all of this so far. Like I said, I did run some quests. He decided he wanted an egg chair. She wanted a vending machine. They had me run stuff back and forth, until, you know, one made the piece of furniture for the other. It was a very weird exchange, but, you know, it was fun-ish. I basically just walked back and forth between the two for a while. You know what? That probably wasn't all that fun or interesting. Anyways! So I finished up my little center garden. I do need to come through and replace some of this dirt with flowers, but I like the nice little continued wall effect that I had with the, you know, like the little hedge background, and I had to add a couple of little lampposts in the background. I was going for a little fence on the top look. I need to come back through and finish that up. But yeah, I mean, it's starting to look really nice. I built another duplex for my merchant and my chef. And with them, it's kind of easy. The merchant needs just a couple of boxes and a table, and they'll be happy to show up. Chef is a little bit more tricky because there is a little bit of an overlap. I think the fridges are considered containers. I'm not actually certain about that. But regardless, there was enough containers in here that a merchant would show up by default. And I had to break some stuff and then put some stuff back, and then I got the chef. Fun stuff. And then this was just a little temporary apartment building so I could collect rent off of them. It was just a very quick thing that I set up. And as you can see on the top floor, I ran out of blocks to put in the background. I'm eventually going to tear the structure down and rebuild it. But anyways, and then I finished up with my last guard tower. And then that was it for my little colony. In the future, I do plan to expand it out some more. I'm not exactly certain how I'm going to do that. I'm probably... Well, let me get all the way over to the other side. So, what I'm thinking is I'm going to probably dig a tunnel through here, or maybe I'll just completely demolish it. But I'll have to upgrade my matter manipulator before I'll be able to demolish this. But once I, either dig a tunnel through here or just clear it off completely, I'll move on to this section where I will continue setting up little houses and such. Because there's plenty of room here, I just need to have a way to get over here to build that doesn't involve me jumping over a mountain. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking about right now in terms of expanding my colony. It'll let me build a lot more individual houses than the system I currently have in place, which pretty much required me to have an apartment building because I didn't have enough room. Uh-oh, this doesn't go all the way through. I thought it did. But anyways, let me get over to the village and I'll sign off. Voltip, stop that. Voltip, no. No, Voltip, go back. Where are you going, Voltip? I let the guy's Voltip out. I don't want to be responsible if the Voltip dies. What is the Voltip doing? No! Go back! Maybe if I leave and come back, the Voltip will return home? I don't know. I'll leave the door open, just in case the Voltip comes back. Well, anyways, it's gonna be it for this episode. If you like the video, make sure you hit that like button. If you like the colony, make sure you hit the like button. I mean, I like the design of my colony, but that's just me. I think I'm a little biased there. But if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. I post videos semi-daily. There's a couple of days of the week where I might not get one out, but I try to give them out every day of the week. If you have any comments or suggestions, if you have colony ideas that you would like me to work on, or if you have, well, any ideas for anything else about the channel, make sure you leave a comment in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and have yourselves a very, very good day.